What is happening, folks? We are here at Reality After Show, and today we are bringing it in hot. We are talking Squid Game, The Challenge, Season 2, and I could not be more excited right now. I have Eric 415 joining me. Happy birthday, by the way, Eric. How are you?
Thank you. Yes, it's always your birthday when you want it to be in my world. So today's my birthday, but more realistically, November 1st, a few days ago, was my actual birthday. So thanks for that. I don't know if you knew that, but that's you're closer than you ever would have dreamed, Lauren.
I'm so close right there. I really should have brought a candle on here and just blew the candle out as we speak, but I sadly
Thank
do not
you.
have that with me.
I'm so excited to talk about this. I mean, you do such a good job here, and I've been a fan of Johnny Fairplay's for a long time. So to get the invite is a real honor for just a little old squid like me.
So excited to have you. And we're just going to jump right into this because there's so much content. There's a lot of you, and it just went out with a boom. This season has started out
Yeah.
really well. You have the juiciness, you have the drama of it all. Everything is packed into these episodes.
Yeah, it's crazy having 4 episodes come out at once. It's like I don't even know where to start or where to think. But we saw a lot. We saw the field get whittled down so fast. It's crazy. I mean, if you go all the way in Squid Game, the challenge, you make it 14 days. So we knew it was going to come fast and heavy. But still, like to lose a quarter of the field in the first episode. I mean, 3/4 of the field. Yeah, we were really hitting the ground running.
The numbers to me in this season seemed as though they dwindled much quicker than season 1 did.
Yes, you are not wrong, Lauren. I was just talking with someone who was on season 1 who went out in warships, which was top, I don't know, top 100 or something, and she was in it for 10 days. Meanwhile, if you survive Mingle like I did, you are in the top 44 on day 7. So the pace was faster from both a live point of view and edited show point of view.
That also has to be super exhausting because you don't even get a moment to shut your brain off whatsoever. The game is constantly going.
Yeah, 100%, especially if you're someone like me. And there are a lot of other players in there who are constantly thinking, like, I'm a huge super fan of these shows. I came in with a plan. I'm always like, just how do I survive? How can I keep lying about something else? What are people doing in this game? Who are the relationships? There's so much to think about. For the numbers, it's so hard to learn everyone's numbers, and I was trying to learn people's names too. So you got a million things going on in your head. The games are filmed for like 12 hours. Catch alone took like 12 hours, I think, and we find out after the show that we're sleeping like 3 or 4 hours a night. You have no idea. You have no sense of time in there. All we know is that we go to sleep, and then an instant later we're woken up to the medley of that classical music and the lights blaring in our face. So it is literally constant stress and pressure and thinking.
Absolutely, especially too, because not only do you have the individual games, you have to think about the tests that could be coming, the twist of the game, which I really have enjoyed the ones that they did decide to incorporate this season because it's fresh, it's new, it's not predictable.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm just got my master's in game design, and I wrote a thesis about reality TV game mechanics. So this is something I thought about a lot too, and I'm glad you said it. I think they did a great job with the games. The game design component was fantastic, by and large. Like you tell me what your favorites are, but Catch, I thought it was incredible. A brand new concept. It delivered. There's so many crazy moments that we were watching it from the stands. Like, how is this not scripted? Viper throwing the ball to 390. Mark, are you kidding me?
It couldn't have been any better because, as I mentioned at the beginning, the drama was there, and I enjoyed the game design of it simply because not only are you having to communicate amongst your team and decide who is standing where, there's also a strategy to it as well. Who are we throwing the ball to? Do I think this person can catch it? Because you have to have a good throw and it has to be a good catch. There's two things that are very heavily involved there. It's not just one. So you have to not only catch your own, then have to recharge yourself to then throw to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that everyone underestimated going in. A lot of people like 409, Claire, I was talking with, she's a basketball player in college. So she was like, I'll stand in the middle. That's fine. Whatever. This is super easy. It doesn't look that far. And then we start seeing people throw the ball. And it turns out that this is not an all-star athlete squad here, plus the pressure. We're getting a lot of throws that are literally uncatchable. So the order and who you have thrown to you is actually incredibly important. Like I thought there'd be more actually people trying to get people to not throw to them, to try to get better throwers thrown to them. I'm sure that was happened subtly, but very complex game, not to mention the relationships going into it that sometimes weren't even shown.
You can be the best catcher in the world, but if you do not have a thrower that can get you to the ball right in your hands, you are going to be eliminated from the game because I'm telling you as a viewer, I'm watching some of these throws, they are not even on target. And some of them, what was your strategy? Because I figured the overhand throw is much more difficult than the underhand.
Yeah, I think underhand all the way for most of it. And this is, I know we're getting deep into the middle of the game here and we'll go back at some point. But since you asked, I'm glad you asked, Lauren. My strategy was, well, for context, they had us all talk for 8 minutes in our group to ostensibly come up with an order. Our group didn't do that. Our group had Britt come up with the idea of faking an injury. I was in the purple group. And we had a lot of people talk about, oh, let's just get all the athletes and throw to each other. And then we'll get down the line and then no one will want to throw to us around the midway point. Turns out that other teams had that strategy too. And that, surprise, the producers mapped this out. They did test it. And we're not going to end up with a game where only like 4 or 6 people get eliminated. So that strategy wasn't a good one. But for me, it was great because all I did was just keep talking nonsense, ran out the clock and positioned myself closest to the front. We didn't come up with an order. And then I walked to the 5th spot like an asshole. And it felt fantastic.
Anything you can do. It's all about you, yourself, and you. Really. At the end of the day, when it comes down to this game, no matter who you know, there is one winner. So you have to do what you can to position yourself. I am just stunned that the Twins were at the beginning of their line.
I know. Isn't it crazy? The 432 counted. Well, he pressed the button, right? Did he really get us there? I think it was the musicians who probably did a little bit more of the work, and 432 just voted one of them out of the game. So that was a pretty flimsy reason, I think. And if they were trying to make enemies that game, they couldn't have done a better job if they tried.
Oh, they were making enemies left, right, and center the entire time, which as a viewer, we love. You want to see that happen because then you're rooting for the demise.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it worked in the short term. They somehow got to the front, which I guess just goes to show the power of just groupthink and people not wanting to go against the grain because like one person agrees and you're like, well, I'm not going to speak up and have them hate me. But as that game ended, they were going to lose a vote to literally anyone, as 98 proved by beating one of the Twins in a vote, the only person he could have beat.
Smart pick. And that just takes one person. I just have to beat one and when it comes down to the vote. So excellent pick there. We will circle back to catch because I want to talk about the Viper at all. I want to talk about the market at all. And I want to talk about 390 personally. So let's go back to the beginning here. And we're going to hit with the very first game. But I want to start first. When y'all all enter into the dorms, what is going through your mind? Because you're all going in the same spot, the same location. You have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, it was incredible because we all were expecting red light, green light, right? If you had to guess, you're going in there, you're like, oh, probably doing red light, green light. They did it season 1 of the real show and the challenge, season 2 of the original drama. But they mixed it up and we got separated into groups, and one group at a time, we just go straight into the dorms. And instantly we all realized there's not enough beds for everybody. Like the numbers are getting chopped in half. But to walk through that door, someone like me, like Mark, like 100 up there, this is like a dream come true. I've been applying for shows my whole life, and it's like, we're here. The set's amazing. I'm a squid. I could die in about 3 seconds, but oh my God, this is like actually happening. And I'm just going to run around like a kid in a candy shop.
The adrenaline is going. Everything's pumping. The excitement is there. And then it gets real. All of a sudden, they're asking for 2 volunteers to come up there. Did it ever cross your mind for 1 second, I want to be the one?
Well, I love attention and I always want to be special. But as it turns out, Lauren, I did not have the choice of volunteering because what they did not air was that you had to have gone into the game with a partner.
Got it.
So this choice was only open to people who were twins, who father-daughter could have done it. Some other type of connection where like with production, you went into the game together, not an accidental connection. You can't be friends who happen to show up in the game together. Wink, wink, nod, nod, Melissa. But that's why it ended up being the twins. There were a few that volunteered. They decided somehow amongst themselves and it ended up being the twins. But I would have loved it. Would you have gone up there if you could have?
It's a huge risk, but what are you doing there if you're not willing to take risks? You know what I mean? Because you have to think, as I'm watching it, I was not sure if the other twin was going to be saved after the round. I thought more than likely eliminate it, but wasn't entirely shocked that he survived, if that makes sense.
Right. I think an important thing of Squid Game is trying to predict what production wants and what production's going to do during the game. I actually was not very good at this, but looking back, it's like, oh, what's a better storyline than two twins who are like the stars of the show who volunteered bravely, so brave of them to volunteer for all that screen time. And it would have been cool to have it be like heartbreaking. You lose your twin right away. The other one obviously is a character, but they thought it might be better to have them both survive, and that's what happened. So risk paid off for them tenfold, 20-fold.
Absolutely. I'm glad that they both remained because we wouldn't have had as much of a storyline at the beginning of the game without those two being there. But how much do the other twins regret then not being the ones to have gone up? Because it turns out to be their demise from the twin brothers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know one set of twins who definitely regrets not going up. Unless they did, they might have been one of the ones who went up. I think that something that I can only speak for myself on, I experienced, and this might sound crazy because I got my moment in there, but I wish I did more. I came in with the idea like I'm living on borrowed time. Let's come in swinging and play the biggest game possible. And I could have done a lot more. I could have tried to get the doll, and seize power. I have a feeling that a lot of people who are playing more short term, like just survive under the radar, I think they might regret not just saying, fuck it, let's just go and have fun with this and go big and seize the spotlight. Because for about like 420 players at least, it's like you're not even really on the show at all. So I don't know, but that's just me. Part of the joy is playing the game. Part of the joy is like trying to win the game at all costs. Part of it's also wanting to see myself back on the show, and not everyone feels that way.
It's just a slim chance if you're going to win the game at all. So you might as well go walls ablazing with this because you're being bold. You're making a statement. You're going for it all. If you just want to float by the game and just coast, this is not the game for you. Simply because you're not going to exist in the game. We will not see you. We will not know you. If you are sleeping all day, if you're barely chatting with people, if you're not taking any ounce of a risk whatsoever in the game, you're not going to be shown.
100%. Yeah, you get Squid Game. And even if you do all those things, if you give it your all and you're out socializing, mingling, if you will, and have the biggest personality ever, you're still probably not getting shown. You kind of have to have a lot of things fall your way. So we're talking as if it's an assumption. Everyone wants screen time, and it sounds probably more inauthentic than I think I mean it. But like, who doesn't? If you're a reality TV person, you go on the show, you want to be able to watch yourself play with friends and family at least. And I don't know. Some people, if you want to play to win, then by all means play under the radar. But you're increasing your win equity by like 1 percentage point, maybe. So I say, play big, play hard, and give it your all, and leave no regrets as far as that's concerned.
It's still a strategy, though, for them. If that's the way they want to play, you do go up in the win equity platform, absolutely. And people can have different strategies. You can start off slow burn, and then the pace can suddenly pick up. And then we do see that with people. We don't know who they are necessarily at the beginning, but oh, by golly, we get a couple episodes in, and they are a character.
So who's standing out to you? That's what I want to know.
So I will tell you, television gold, put this person on my screen everywhere. Sydney,
Thank
player
you. Yes.
16,
Oh,
iconic. I don't even care that Sydney went out as early as she did. That was Sydney's episode. It was the best.
that talk about leaving a mark. I mean, she's so funny to me. You get the spoiled princess at it, but with a heart of gold, kind of, maybe. I don't know. It's really just a fleeting moment because that's all you get in Squid Game. But she was a good person for the twins to go up against, no doubt about it.
It was a good first leg right there. And honestly, that had the drama too. And specifically speaking, just the intensity of the game alone, everything that is involved with it, the different stages of the game, the pressure. I just still remember, and I don't remember the specific person, they were just shown their house of cards. The cards were crinkled so much that I don't even think you could make a house out of them anymore because they were bent all over the place. They were smashed. It was not looking good, and they didn't go through clearly, but it was the shaking it all.
Right. Was that Grace, the one later on who smashed all the cards up, I believe, right? Unless Sydney bent them out of shape too, and maybe I missed it. I don't know. It's been tough to watch and focus. I've never been good at that. But either way, yeah. How do you volunteer for House of Cards if you have really, really shaky hands, Lauren?
You don't. That's it. Point blank, period. You don't, unless you don't think you can do anything else. But here, I personally think you don't have to be a sports person to do jeggy. Because we saw one person, they bounced two of them off of their knee, which is a lot easier, in my opinion, than doing your foot.
Yeah. Only the real losers of the team would do jeggy, in my opinion. Ask me what I did. Ask me what I did. It was jeggy. But it got a lot easier on the show for sure. It was a low pressure roll. I think ball in a cup, jeggy, those are the low pressure ones. And I was happy to not have all that pressure on me. The other ones way harder for sure, right? Throwing, Ganji. Oh my god.
I'd never volunteer. Never ever would do that in any universe. So let's talk about how it compares to the actual drama of it all, because they did this and that. They still had the same here, the flying stone. They had Jeggy. They had Ganji. So they took out and replaced ball in a cup with, what was the first leg? Do you remember?
So the spinning top was one of them. That was a later leg.
That was leg 4. Spinning top was one, which I'm happy they took that out because I think that would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, the first one they took out was I forget how to pronounce it.
Dachi.
Yeah, the slamming the blue square on the red square and trying to get it to flip. Lauren, do you have any idea how many times I practiced that? So annoyed. I can't believe they took it out. Unbelievable. My wrists were sore.
Practice. You have to. If you don't come practicing these games, just don't go.
And yet, you'd be surprised at how many people did not put any preparation into this experience whatsoever, setting themselves up for failure, if you ask me. But I guess in testing, you know what's crazy? I thought Ganji they would take out for sure. I was so convinced because I bought it. I tried it. I literally can't do it. I am completely incapable of doing Ganji. Would have killed my team so fast. But they changed the rules. They made it a lot easier and kept it in. But the other ones they took out and replaced with, I guess, universal games like ball in a cup.
When I was doing this podcast for season 2 of the drama, I said exactly what you said. There is no way they're going to play that game. It is way too complicated. And that's the one of them that they decided to leave in. I thought they could have left the first stage in, but spinning top has to go. There's just no way people are, I'm sure somebody tried to practice it at home, of course, but not enough. And you would be there for hours. You know what I mean?
Could have been
hours.
I could get it like 1 out of 4 tries after I practice enough, like something like that. So it was not pretty, but for some reason, I still feel like that was more doable than Ganji. But in any case, for whatever reason, I mean, worldwide audience, some of these games are way more focused on like certain countries like Korea. And maybe they thought it wouldn't hit as close to home, but and they also had to do this fast because filming took 2 days for pentathlon. It was filmed over 2 days. So it was like, I'm sure they were like, we have to get these people through these things as fast as possible, like keep churning them through. So all makes sense from a production standpoint. What about Kurt and Zoe watching their thing? What do you make of that? We got a movie in there. I didn't think we were going to get entertainment, but we got a free movie.
So here's the thing. It's very difficult to go into a game with your father, I'm sure, because you're trying to watch his every move. You know what I mean? And seeing what he's doing. So
Yeah.
not only are you having to worry about that, you're two completely different people. So he's trying to play the game one way, you're trying to play the game the other way. So you need to then focus on how are we going to make this collide and work for both of us. So I think it's much more difficult to go into the game with somebody that you know very, very well.
I definitely, and we saw that in the episode, right? I think Zoe is the type to try to play more strategically, probably fly under the radar. Kurt was always thinking as well, but he's the type of person who's going to make friends with a houseplant in the corner of a party. He can make friends with a brick wall, probably. He's a very funny guy and won't stop talking to anyone. So they had to figure out how to manage that and how to maybe not go insane if you're Zoe. But at the same time, they each bring different strengths and can connect with different people. And I think that might have worked out well for them.
It does. However, say one is not too keen on somebody and you're keen on that person, then you have a little bit of pull there. It's tougher. I do want to say from a production standpoint, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Them showing on the screen, her going. Amazing.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, it was, and to get his reaction, of course, it's like, you know, what's fun about Squid Game is you can do pretty much anything, because in the original show, that is exactly the type of thing that all those sick bastards running the game would have done, is make a father watch if his daughter lives or dies. So it was like, when we saw it on the screen in the dorms, which we actually watched it, of course, like fully, like exactly as shown. We were like, oh my God, wow. That's demented. I love it. He's gonna see it. A lot of people were like, "What if she dies?" Can you imagine? Not that I wish that. I'm not like completely heartless, but I feel like the reaction would have been pretty great TV, Lauren.
Fantastic TV, and also you're not saying goodbye. You know what I mean? You're standing in the dorm. She's gone because they hit you on the spot. You're eliminated right there. Other games, you at least get a moment to say goodbye to somebody. That one, no chance.
No, I mean, and that happened to a lot of connections in there. I think there was like even one pair that went into the game together that got divided in pentathlon. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while, but it didn't get shown. So maybe I'm wrong, but at the very least, you have a lot of loved ones or people you're very close to. Again, a little behind the scenes, we spent 3 days in a hotel and could talk with people in groups of 50 or so. So like we had a lot of time to get to know people before the game even started. And there was a lot of devastation. And for me personally, I happen to know player 110, Melissa, very well going into the game. We played a fake version of Survivor. It's called Live Reality Game together. We were ride or dies in that. So like seeing her in the dorms was like having a really tight friend and a mercenary in there with me. So you better believe that when I got back from pentathlon, I was on pins and needles. And when she walked through the door, it was incredible. Like, what a sense of relief. And we're not related. So I can only imagine what it would be like seeing your daughter walk back in, your real daughter.
Well, even you seeing that Melissa is going to be on the cast, that has to give you a little bit of ease because it's somebody you at least recognize, you have a rapport with, and you feel comfortable that I can at least have these conversations with her and the information's not going anywhere. It stays between us.
100%. Like we both know each other. We both have operated before in this setting, in playing Survivor 5 days in the woods in Illinois at Survival Challenge, which was a blast. And so like going in, it's very clear that it's in both of our best interests to just protect each other as long as possible. The more people you can trust at the end of the game, the better when you look at games like Gift Game. So it was phenomenal. It's a huge advantage. And the best part is we're not like an obvious pair. So we were able to keep it a complete secret and just have these little clandestine meetings, and to talk secrets, which they showed a little bit, which was cool, and just quickly like debrief with each other. So it is very comforting to have someone like that in the game, without a doubt.
Definitely. And it also keeps the target off of your back because everyone is talking about these duos. You're not a known duo that came in together. So that wipes the floor clean for y'all. And you can still hide within the shadows, but still have that huge element of trust with someone. So, I mean, you're hitting the jackpot there.
I really did. Couldn't be luckier. And not only that, but like we had different pregame cohorts, right? So we had completely different groups of people. And Melissa literally saved my life. Fun fact, because all of the people that I knew from day one were going to go pick O, and I was going to go with them. And I talked to Melissa, and she's like, well, I'm really tight with all of my people, and we're all going X. And that was the only reason I stayed in this game, because I was like, all right, see you later, people. I'm going with Melissa, obviously. And that's obviously luck. But still, throughout the game, I knew everything about the little secret alliance that they had, the Avengers. I knew like the inner workings of that. She knew everything I knew. Massive advantage, in theory.
Huge advantage. And I want to touch on, because as you just said, you almost went to the O's, you end up in X. And I want to say the O's could not have been more messier. My goodness, could not figure it out. Whereas y'all's group, you had people chiming in with ideas, but it was a bit way calmer than what we saw with the O's.
You know what's funny is, by all accounts, from what I've heard from O's, is it was 10 times more chaotic and messier than we even saw. Like, apparently we saw a toned down version. So I can only imagine what the hell was happening over there. Maybe people thought that getting 2 seconds of screen time was more valuable than winning the game. But in any case, I think that's just what happens when you put 200 plus people who really badly want to be on reality television in the same room in a high pressure environment. And it took a lot of work on the X side to quiet down the few maniacs that we had. I was like getting annoyed, honestly, on our side, like, shut the fuck up, please stop interrupting. But apparently we had it way better than the O's. So thank God for that. Not to mention the musicians. Unbelievable.
So you had lucky. It so much better. And speaking of the
yeah.
O's, I will be talking to somebody that was on the O's side, and I cannot wait to get the tea on everything that happened with that. So that will be another podcast that I am doing.
Oh, great. I can't wait to listen. They're going to have stories. Yeah,
yes,
sure.
We're going to get it all, and I'm very excited for it. But speaking of your group too, you had Michael, the musician, and I thought Michael was absolutely fabulous.
100%. Yeah. We had him, and we had a whole band apparently too. We had like alternates. We had his rock bands, the AC/DC tribute bands, who were on deck. We had musicians on musicians. Jesse 58 too, the guy who's actually up there with him. We had the whole system of the counters. It had never been in better hands. And I got to say, it was insanely nerve-wracking, the most stressful moments of my life that I can remember, which means I probably had a pretty easy life. But at the same time, it was like, I feel like they nailed it. They look so good. And another musician, Ram, I think it was, after the fact, he was saying he was keeping track with them, and he was like, they're perfect. Like, we're so good. So all the musicians knew that we were so fine and in the clear, basically.
Yeah, you had the best that you ever could over there. I also want to get your opinion on this, because we're watching this go down. Player 205, I believe her name was Ida, right? The nurse?
Beats me.
Okay, I'm going off of what I remember, and I think
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right.
I think I'm right too. Because listen, there's a lot of you and one of me. So it's hard, but I have a pretty good memory when it comes to watching these. So why did the nurse start late? What happened here? I'm watching it as a viewer going, I don't understand what is going on. And I don't know why it did click with the brother. He said the same thing. Why did she start so late? So my question is, why didn't we hit the button sooner? If you know that she started late in the count, I would hit it a few counts before she finishes.
And honestly, that very well might have happened. I think from what I recall, Raul, the 431, probably did try to take that into account. He was also getting a million different voices seemingly yelling different things at him. A lot of people thought that she was too slow or too fast or whatever. I can't answer that. You're gonna have to ask Ida. I don't know what happened there. That's a really good question, but that is apparently what happened, and it beats me. So nerves, high stakes, confusion. Maybe something was unclear. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just really glad that Ida was on the other team and the musicians were on my team.
It's just wild to me, and obviously the stakes could not be any higher if you are put into that position. So what I think may have happened is you hear start, and then you take a second to breathe and get yourself ready to go. And then I think that is when she did begin going. But the guy that was running around losing his head, he was actually right. I'm not going to lie. The one that was freaking out, he was pretty much on time there.
He might have been. Maybe he was just, we don't know. We don't know. Is long story short. The O's, who aren't the most reputable sources, probably all of them, but as a whole, they're convinced that they were off by way more than 12 seconds, and that 12 seconds, like, there's no way that could be true. Lauren, I have no idea what happened over there. It's a mystery still to this day. I think we can't take everything we see on TV as absolute fact. And for all we know, they might have been 80 seconds late. But if it is true, then yeah, he might have been, he might have been on points, and his team should have listened to him sooner, maybe. Who knows?
Right. It's all an edit. So the way the edit portrayed it, it looked as though he was more in the ballpark than where they were counting. But listen, I'm happy. I needed that on my TV. I loved the chaos of it all because everyone's trying to pull him to sit down. Everyone's saying, shh, everyone's freaking out. It's great. And we get to your room and it's just kumbaya in there.
Relatively speaking, yes. Yeah. Again, we had our loudmouths. Don't get me wrong, but by and large, it was pretty good, and we did a pretty good job. And for how many people there were, I would say not bad, not bad. I'm glad it was fun to watch. Because from a player perspective, it sucked. It was the worst. It was like, wow, we really flew all the way here, and we're going to do a coin flip to see if we get to play Squid Game. So I feel truly terrible for the O's, who their fate was like not in their hand for almost all of them. But from a production standpoint, get the numbers down, and that's how they did it. And it's like, all right, thanks for coming. See you later. Now let's move on to pentathlon.
Absolutely. No, I 100% feel for those people, because that just has to be a difficult way to go, especially because really only 2 to 3 people are actually involved in that game. Everyone else is sitting. Mm-hmm. You have no involvement. Faith is not in your hands whatsoever. And you go out that way without even doing anything. That just has to be a tough pill to swallow. So I, for sure, feel for those people. If they ever do something such as this again, what I personally would love to see is if everyone has a small button and they can push the button when they want, and they can calculate the math, whoever number they decide, whatever it is, those people go on because they're closest to the count. I would love to see that.
That's an interesting idea. I hadn't heard that one before. I like that too. I think Netflix has the budget for 456 buttons. And incidentally, in the thesis I wrote, which I won't bore you with too much, I promise, but I did a pilot study and tried to associate 9 factors I identified of game mechanics used in reality TV shows to audience enjoyment. Fairness was the number 1 factor. I think the audience of reality TV shows really care if the games feel somewhat fair or not, if it feels like the players are in control to a degree, at least some degree of their fate in the game. And when half the field gets wiped out through no fault of their own, it's like, well, that sucked. I'm sure people kept watching, but the sentiment is like, well, it kind of breaks with a little bit of immersion of like, you want the winner to be deserved. You want someone to earn it. You want someone to rise above the rest, right? Why do we watch Squid Game originally? Because 456 piloted his way through the game somehow, but sometimes through genius. And when the winner of a game did it for no merit, nothing they had to do with the game results whatsoever, it's like, oh, that's kind of lame a little bit.
It's tough, but as I said, we can adjust. I just gave an idea there where they could potentially go. They can bring
I love it
back. They have so many options because let's cut it straight here. We have to dwindle the field. It has to happen. There's not enough space. There's not enough beds. They have to get the game moving in one way, and that's the best way to get rid of a chunk of people, and that's probably where their thought process was. But now I believe, watching it back, okay, maybe can we make sure everyone has an ounce of involvement where it's their own individual self if they are eliminated from the game?
Yeah, and I would. The only thing is, like, then you don't get the heroes, the twins, right?
Right.
Clearly, that was a big part of it. Someone to start telling stories about. But otherwise, I think your change is a really simple and effective way to just solve that problem of the feeling of unfairness. So maybe there's something we could workshop on. I'm going to think about that, Lauren.
Let's
Maybe you
think
can have it
about
all.
it. Consider it all areas. Now, I want to move on to this because the brothers had to pick 3 people to eliminate. And I have to say, 107, what are we doing? Why is this happening? Why would you say I want to yacht party with my friends? Oh my goodness, that is the easiest way to eliminate someone. You don't even have to think about it.
I mean, it's brutal to me because, like, I would have loved that answer. I'm like, yeah, you go for it. Why not? That's probably the most honest answer they got, and you know for a fact because it doesn't sound great. But if you're playing the game, that's not what I would have done because, as you might have guessed, you want to be sympathetic, and you don't know who you're talking to, and that's the mistake she made. Was unfortunately she was talking to the wrong person who cared about the wrong or right thing, depending on your perspective. At the time when he had the power to eliminate. So big mistake, game-ending mistake. I don't fault her for not seeing that coming whatsoever. But I think that just goes to show why when you play this game, if you really want to give yourself the best chance possible, you got to be sympathetic. You gotta play the game.
Right. And honestly, her answer is fantastic, but just in a different setting.
Mm-hmm.
When someone's saying, what are you going to do with the money? Make something up. Lie. If you don't know, just come up with a lie that sticks, that
I
people are
agree.
going to enjoy. That's just what you have to go with because they thought about eliminating player 100 Mark. And then as they continue to talk to Mark, couldn't do it. Just a really nice, sweet guy.
Too
Which
likable.
is the way, yeah, too likable. Exactly. You
Couldn't
have
do
to
it.
figure out a way where people are saying, oh, I want to have this person on my side, or maybe want to have the conversation, get to know them better. But 107, oh, you're going to learn from your mistake. It's a mistake, but we don't hate your answer here. Your answer just was for the wrong time.
If you're trying to connect with people and be authentic, I mean, that would have worked great on me at least. I would have been like, oh, cool, because you're in a sea of phoniness in there, and you know it. So anytime you hear an answer like that, it's like, well, that's got to be honest at least. But wrong place, wrong time. And it's funny. I went with a fake baby, but Star Wars Wedding was my next choice. I almost went with that instead. So it's crazy coincidence, really.
It's a wild coincidence there because
what are the odds?
Right. Mark breathes Star Wars, which is great. But we also see here, sadly, the other twin brothers end up going. And I want your perspective on this. I don't feel as though they did anything wrong.
No, I mean, not that I know of. They just existed and they were twins and it seemed completely random. That's Squid Game. You get eliminated randomly and that's part of it. It's just, and for what it's worth, if anything, probably a mistake because everyone knew it was like the twins. It was like, it's got to be the twins. And I don't know if they thought that would cover their bases. Like, twins would never eliminate twins. Maybe that was a last minute idea. Maybe they were scrambling. Everyone was like, oh, it was 431. Definitely. Like he had to have done it. So didn't hide their tracks. That's all I know for sure, if that was the goal.
No, not at all. And I also believe that I would have left them in personally because that's another target on 2 other people. That's not yourself. Yeah. And so if eyes can go other areas in the court, you want it there. You want to keep the big threats in. Not to say that I thought those 2 were threatening by any means, but the threat is there because of the duo.
Definitely. And that's why I really, really badly wanted to keep the twins in the game as long as possible because they're lightning rods. That's just how it goes. You want people very distracted by other people. So, I mean, there were a lot of pairs in the game. There were a lot of relationships. The cast was truly stacked to give the producers as great a chance as possible for pairs to make it far into the game. But still, one more twin set can't hurt.
Absolutely. Let's jump into some of these twists that I want to talk about because I have really enjoyed them so far this season. And the first one being the addition of the vending machine. Yes, love this. Here for it. I believe it was player 272, Ryan, and a couple other folks. They discovered the vending machine, were buying snacks, and to Ryan's surprise, y'all didn't seem like you cared too much when they were talking about the cookies.
I have a lot to say about that. First of all, we were there for like 3 days, right? So who cares about cookies at that point? Second of all, how on earth is this actually the truth? How? It blows my mind to this day. Like the story that they gave us about like, okay, everyone, we're going to reach out a hand and grab a cookie. And we did this because we got full when everyone's hungry in there and they just wanted to share. I was if I was trying to be as suspicious as possible, I could not have come up with anything nearly that suspicious. And so like when Ryan was getting upset in there about how people didn't trust him, I was like, dude, what? Who would ever trust that? Did you not watch season 1? This is like exactly how they would try to get someone out. How poison cookies? It's great, of course. Like we all thought they were poison. I had to really work hard to prevent someone on my pentathlon team, Karen, from going up there. She wanted a cookie, and I was like, Karen, you get back here right now. There's no way you can't eat that cookie. So I think if they stopped and thought about it for just a little bit longer, they might have thought this looks really shady. But that's just me. What do you think? Would you have taken the cookie, Lauren, after I said all that?
No, I'm not taking the cookie. And
of course not. No one would.
It gives me vibes from season 1 where they bring the telephone out. Why are we answering the telephone? Who's picking up the telephone? No, I'm not touching. You stay away from the phone.
There's a really simple reason. Screen time, Lauren. That's why people answer the telephone. Yeah, it's all about that.
You have to, buy your time with it. You get what I'm saying here? You have to pick the moment. And that's where we'll get to it. The nesting doll. I'm okay with that. But the phone, that one's tricky because the nesting doll, there's going to be layers. There's going to be different elements to it. With the phone, it might just be one phone call. You don't know.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's something that I think the game designers improved upon personally. Was season 1, there were just a lot of random eliminations, and that affected me. I took absolutely nothing, no powers. I went for nothing. I did 0 chores. I did not want 2 seconds of screen time as a result of taking a risk of putting my game in the hands of some random scratch ticket or something like that. But they didn't actually eliminate people. And I like that better because you kind of want people to feel a little bit more comfortable going up and taking these risks. And they get disadvantages, which is cool because then if you play your way out of a disadvantage, that's a little bit more meaningful, I think, than just getting shot out of nowhere. So I think the risk reward usually isn't worth it. For me, the one exception would have been like, oh my God, player 98 opens the nesting doll like immediately after Austin did, which he was not supposed to do. And we saw 10 coins. So we knew that there were 10 coins in there. They re-hit it. They reorganized the nesting doll. So looking back, I do kind of wish I eliminated someone firsthand. I wish I took a shot, especially knowing that 10 coins, the power to eliminate someone was right there. I don't know. Would you have eliminated someone? Would you have gone for it, you think? Or would you have been like, don't want the spotlight?
So here's the thing. It ultimately depends on how you feel in the game and who you're necessarily working with. Because if you eliminate somebody that has a good alliance and people working with them, it's a bad move for you because then those people are coming for you in the future.
Yeah.
However, if there is an elimination where everyone's good with this person going, I see no problem with it.
For sure. At the same time, then maybe you want to leave them in longer, though, to keep drawing attention. For me, it was like if I had someone who was an enemy who was like I knew was gunning for me, then that's when I wanted to get them before they get me. But failing that, it was like, oh well. And personally, I was like, I just gave a big speech. I don't really need more attention at this point. So that was a factor as well. But getting ahead of myself.
I'm putting you on the spot. Who are you eliminating if you did it?
Okay, this is embarrassing because in the moment, I would have eliminated. I had two people. Apologies in advance. Peter, who we saw a lot of, and simply
24, right?
because
That's player
24,
24.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just because he was, stirring up a lot of chaos. He was a consensus pick to be eliminated, but not like the picks who I wanted to keep in the game, like the Twins in '98. And he was just on a lot of people's radar anyway, so it would have been a very easy, like, defensible decision. The other person I would have eliminated was player 30, Tyler, just because I didn't know him at all, and I looked at him and it was like, I don't know why you're cast. For some reason, I just had this idea. I was like, he wasn't making waves. I thought he was like a secret mastermind type. I thought he easily could be a gamer. He looked like a gamer to me. So I was like, I'm going to take him out. You know who I should have eliminated, though?
I'm ready for it.
I mean, this is not interesting because like our relationship isn't shown at all. But 111 August, that's who I should have eliminated because he was very suspicious of me, and did not trust a word out of my mouth, and rightly so. And I was picking up on this. So we had a little bit of a reason there. I wasn't confident enough to have done it in the moment, but I wish I thought of that and would have, because he was absolutely gunning for me big time.
We will get to the August of it all. Don't you worry, folks, because
What a guy.
wow. Yeah, seriously. Exactly. But let's jump into this. So the pentathlon ends. We had everything occur. And then all of a sudden, they bring 5 people up that did the worst.
Yes.
How did you feel about that? Because I personally felt great, because now, if I'm in a team, I have to perform. Even if I'm the slowest and I happen to go through, I still need to perform and outdo everybody else that I could be going up against. That's not even in my heat.
Yeah. It makes you feel the pressure even more, doesn't it? I don't remember them saying that every second counts or whatever they said. That was like a little hint, but I don't think anyone truly saw this part coming. Love it. Great twist. Very excited to kill people. Eliminate people. They would always tell me that they can't say kill. 415. You can't say kill. It's a game. They're being eliminated. Happy to jump on that and eliminate people. The thing that affected the decision, though, that we didn't get shown was that a lot of people were spreading and believing the theory, myself included, that if we don't eliminate these 5, they're going to put up the next 5 slowest times. That was the fear for a lot of players. And a lot of players that I was close with. I don't remember. I think Mark 100 for sure was very worried that he was the next slowest. So a lot of people voted to take them out for that reason. A lot of people voted them out to get rid of 5 players. Some people like me did it for both reasons.
You have to think all those scenarios through your mind, because as you said, next group up. So these people you want to keep, well, maybe the next round, those are the people that you want to eliminate. The only one that was tough was Michael, player 89. You could see people saying this is so hard because we are here essentially completely because of Michael, because Michael got us through that round. Had it been anybody else standing up there, I think you see everyone going the elimination route pretty much.
Yeah, but like, Michael, what have you done for me lately? That's
right.
The thing. Yeah, that was yesterday, Michael. Come on. We gotta what are you doing for my game now? Emotionally, I'm like very much human for the most part, and I felt bad for him, and it felt like you do feel like you owe him a debt for doing so well and getting us there. But from a game perspective, I had no relationship with him, so I think a lot of people were like, "It's Squid Game, baby. Sorry, them's the breaks." You know who else got unlucky? All the O's. So the morality just didn't factor in enough to move the needle. But he seems like an awesome dude, and he really got a rough go of it. If he comes back on another show, work on that throw, baby.
Listen, luck is heavy in Squid Game, and you have to know that coming in. If you get a sprinkle of luck here and there, you take it all you can the entire time, and hopefully you can ride it out before your luck runs out. I want to talk to you, though, about Jonty, player 118, having the emotional moment going up to vote. And I can see already your BS radar's going, everywhere.
Yeah, you know whose BS radar was going off? Anyone with vision. that if you had eyes that worked, then your BS radar was going off because Jonty, man, he's so funny. He really entertains me. He's been cracking me up, especially after the game. Funny guy. He obviously knew what he was doing out there. But acting skills definitely need work because before talking with people, before he's going to have to vote, he's laughing, making jokes, not a care in the world. All of a sudden, he looks like he just found out his dog died on the walk up. And then as soon as he votes, he's right back to laughing hysterically and like joking around. He's like, oh, man, I wonder what's for dinner. And saying, I don't know, I just made that up. But like instantly the switch is flipped. So it did not take a detective to realize that he was putting on a show.
A show indeed. And I personally, when Jonty does get eliminated, I was bummed to see him go because he was a character. We were getting life from him. Jonty was delivering, and that's exactly what you want. But first, before we get to the more in-depth of catch, because I know we talked about it a little bit, but there's the key players that we have to hit. The Scratcher. So we see in the Scratcher, Peter gets a disadvantage, and I believe 352 Samantha gets a disadvantage, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I'm assuming you're right about the numbers, but those are the names at least. You might think I would know all these things. Oh my God. My memory sucks, Lauren. I don't remember anything. Numbers are really hard for me in there. But yeah, Peter and Samantha, they get the disadvantage.
I loved the disadvantage that was incorporated with this. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was a fun one, right?
Right. Because you still, when I hear the word disadvantage, I want an actual disadvantage. I don't want one where they have no shot and they're going to absolutely 100% be eliminated. And that's what we got from this. There was a disadvantage where they still had that chance to remain in the game.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I was saying earlier. Like, you want players to be able to play their way out of something. If it got straight out of the game, it's like, well, that sucks. Nothing they could have done. If it's a nothing disadvantage, it doesn't mean anything. But if you overcome a disadvantage meaningfully, then that's better storytelling. And they were both able to do that by, in Peter's case, throwing the ball well, or both of them really, and also by getting to the front of the line. They had to use their social abilities to get people to do that. They might have agreed with it, but in any case, it was impressive work, right?
It was great work. The other twist I enjoyed for this game was the three that did not pick a spot. They have to then choose someone to back in the game. If that person gets eliminated, you're gone too. Who are you backing if you're in that position? I'm assuming Melissa.
It's Melissa, baby, all the way. Yeah, yes. I don't have to think about that
Melissa.
one.
Yep, you don't even have to think about it.
No, because she's, I would have the utmost faith in her ability to get through games more than anyone, and also I want my fate to be tied to her. Like, it's if I survive, I want her to survive, and vice versa. But who would you have picked actually? Just watching it, anyone jump out at you where you're like, yes, that's the person?
Let me go to my players that I have highlighted here. I have tons of players written down. Well, and you know what? It's hard, but I would probably have to go with player 153 Austin would have probably been one of my picks.
Yeah, strong pick. Strong choice.
Strong guy. I think
why Austin? Why Austin?
Just based on watching him, confidence. He has confidence. Even though we'll get to the downfall of it all, but I mean, it's a great downfall. Let's be clear. I just think that would be someone where I could see as a standout. Okay, I'm confident that this person is going to be able to catch and throw a ball.
For sure. And that hair too. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. There's no way you can eliminate someone with hair that good, that fast.
No, not
That's
at all.
That's a good choice. If I weren't picking Melissa, there's a few people, but I think Viper actually I might have picked. He just looks like he could get through any game. Player 223, Manfred, not really on the show as much, but he like crushed Ganji. I know him from, well, now I know him from these live reality games, fake survivor games. I feel like he got very unlucky in that game to get a terrible throw. Would have made his way through a lot of games. But yeah, no, just fun facts. Melissa all the way, obviously.
Yes. But like I said, Viper's not a bad pick. So when I heard Viper's getting picked, I said, oh, this is great. This guy looks ready, locked in. and is not going to miss a beat. So I'm
Definitely
going to
not. Oh,
going to
sorry. I
ask,
should have said Claire. Claire 409. I would have picked Claire too for sure. Anyway, that's just that's an omission on my part. She's fantastic at these things too. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
where do we want to start here? Do we want to start with the Mark of it all or the Viper of it all?
I mean, if we're going in chronological order, I kind of want to start with the 98 of it all in the Twins because that moment was like hilarious to me. What
Oh,
you know
yes,
what I'm talking
very
about,
good.
right? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God, Lauren, like here, ever since we filmed that, I've heard 98's voice in my head constantly, virtually every week at least, going, "What are we doing? This is simple. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. I play baseball. This is not complicated." He went on for so long, and the Twins, they're not throwing to him. It's insane to me. The other line was like 3 feet closer. I can't believe it still. I know we talked about this earlier, but that still blows my mind.
Unbelievable. It is not a far throw. And as you said, the next closest one was not even a huge difference. Now, I could see if you had to throw all the way to the back of the very line, and then you have the option to throw the closest line
Yeah.
in another group, that's a different story. This was number 4 in, I believe. He was the 4th person that was set to catch the ball. I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
I really would be because for one, he's gonna be a good thrower, so you're going to get a good throw that you have to catch. That's another
Which
factor
is
you have to
huge.
consider there, and you just wanna get it over with. Imagine standing there waiting and waiting. The anxiety just ramps up even more. The pressure ramps up. If you can get this done as quickly as possible, that's the way to go.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the what you said is on point. Not only is the thrower really important because the thrower really determines the fate more than you'd think. You'd think it might be about catching. People had a really hard time throwing. The other thing is that we got a line with 2 people with disadvantages. So that impacted my decision. I had an incredibly easy spot, number 5, but still, I remember Shelly, the woman who was throwing to me, she kept asking me, like, "Are you good? Are you good? Are you good?" She was getting so nervous. So like when she was getting ready to throw and looking around at the yellow line with the disadvantages at 2 and 3, she could have thrown it to the first person there, and then that would have maybe ended my game. So I was like, I made sure to tell her all about how I play dodgeball every week, which I don't.
Mhm.
But I was saying anything I could to get her to throw the ball to me. And if people didn't do that, they got a bad thrower. They're out of the game.
Definitely, I would be so pissed if it came down to the throw, because you see some people who are diving to the ground to catch some of these balls. So as I said earlier, the throws, some of them are not on point.
I mean, take Manfred. I'm not gonna, I don't want to throw people under the bus and out the terrible throws, but he went out because someone threw a ball more like they were bowling than they were tossing a ball to a catcher, and he had no shot, and that happened countless times. So, yeah, it's your game is not in your hands. A lot of points, Lauren.
Yeah, and you just have to adapt the best you can, but sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
For sure. But you know what? We should go back to what you were saying. Like, let's talk about Mark and what's her number again? I forget. I can't remember anyone's number.
Mark's player 100 and Viper is 152.
Oh yeah, the woman throwing to Mark though. I can't.
Is it? I'm going to try and pull this out. Let me see if I have it in my notes.
In any case, well, you look that up. I mean, there's some things that went into that. So I don't know why I'm blanking on her number and name right now. I know it starts with a J. She had someone closer who she could have thrown to, but that was player 75, who we saw a lot of, Natalie. The two of them were actually feuding. There was a little bit of conflict between them. And I think that might have played a role in her decision to not go with the closer throw and instead go down the line to Mark. And you could see like the emotions were real. I mean, like, you got this. He's like 100%. I got it. It was actually not 100%. I don't know what the percentage was, but it was not 100% because he dropped it. And you could hear a pin drop after that.
It was player 443 that was throwing the ball to Mark. And so as I'm watching this, first of all, I want to start here with Mark. You are the sweetest, nicest, most genuine soul I am so happy that you had your shot to go and play this game. You absolutely deserved it. Television gold as well. And that's, I believe, why it was so hard to see this elimination happen. You have your heroes in the game that you're just hoping it works out where he's going to catch this ball. And you see it from the players too. They pan over to the bench. They pan over to everybody that is watching this moment, because I truly believe the majority of the people that were in that room were wanting Mark to catch the ball so bad.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, on a human level, absolutely. Mark was someone that I was, fairly close with in the dorms. He plays Survivor games. He plays live reality games too. He actually recognized me from just being in that sphere. So we were working together. We're talking a lot, and getting to know him is, in my case, I was like, well, I hate the fact that someone knows who I am. I really hate it, but he just seems so sweet, and it turns out he actually was. His personality is like similar to the Twins decision, made me like not want to eliminate him, even though it probably would have been, like, in theory, smart for me to take out anyone who knew roughly who I was. And everyone felt the same way. So, I mean, and that's probably why the camera operator spent about 3 minutes filming his elimination and making sure they got that from a lot of good angles, including that great top-down shot, because he is a great storyteller and he had a really compelling run out there.
I didn't know what was going to happen because you had the slow-mo of the ball, and it's just taking its time getting there. However, from a storyline aspect of it all, it made sense that the drop happened.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like, it almost feels like fate sometimes when people go. It's like, yeah, that's the perfect ending for your. Not that anyone wants to go, but what a cinematic closure for Mark's run out there, especially after the really, really painful conversation that took place in his team deciding the order when he. I want to say, I not intentionally to hurt him at all, but the hurt feelings were very real when Mark gets, selected, like, as someone who is not going to be good at throwing, is not going to have the appearance of someone that people are going to want to throw to. Like, it was an insensitive, really unfortunate comment, strategy, whatever. And then in like a normal show, the hero Mark would catch the ball and prove the doubters wrong, right? Mm-hmm. But it's actually perfect for Squid Game. It's like, nope, life doesn't work out that way sometimes. This is reality TV, not a scripted drama, and we don't get the happy ending that everyone wanted.
If it's the scripted drama, then the catch 100% happens. And as you said, because it's Squid Game, sometimes this is just the way it goes. And he had a good run. Mark, you had a great run. You had tons of fans, a lot of people rooting for you.
For sure. Yeah. I think a lot went well and went great for Mark, and he, acquitted himself really well out there. So I hope I think he's doing just fine, despite missing out on the 4.56 mil.
Now, I want to transition to Viper. Viper, I just want to give you a shout out in the sense of you were my mom's one-time favorite, two-time favorite, three-time favorite. She was rooting for you, Viper. I loved Viper from the jump because we're seeing Viper in the dorms saying, how are people talking so damn early? What is happening here? Let me wake up. I knew from the get-go, I said, that's my guy right there. Absolutely hilarious. I was hoping we were going to see more, and oh boy, did we see more when it came to catch.
Yeah, for sure. Viper's just a cool ass dude. I wish I got to spend more time with him in the dorm, but the little I did, he makes an impression. He's funny, he's observant, he's smart, and that's probably why Jonty picked him to partner up with, unbeknownst to Viper in the game. And then when we get to, first of all, he makes a great catch, cross-court catch from Chris, which was already pretty cool because people are not catching the ball that deep for the most part. And then he has to pick who he's going to throw to. And this is insane, how it played out. What did you make of 390 turning his back like that?
What are we doing here? I guess the strategy for 390 is if I can avoid getting the ball thrown to me at all the rest of the game, then I survive it. But the reality of it is, it's probably not going to happen because you look as though you could be someone that could catch the ball. So, of course, people are going to want to try to throw to you. So, if Viper wasn't throwing to you that round, someone else is going to want to throw to you. So, take the throw. Number one being, Viper is going to be able to throw the ball. Take that into consideration. You have someone that you know is going to have a good toss here. Why are we doing this? What is the problem here? 390, frustrating. That was very frustrating to watch.
Yeah, it's a good word for it. I mean, I don't hate the attempt at self-preservation, right? The attempt itself, I think, was, like you said, strategically, I would want someone who just made a cross-court catch throwing the ball to me. I know there's not a lot more eliminations that need to happen, but there's still a few. Like, it's probably going to get to you. Like, this isn't going to work forever, probably. But I don't hate the attempt. What I do hate is his attitude, both before, during, and after. I mean, he got like a good at it, if you can believe it. A lot worse was said. I'll leave it at that, but it was weird seeing someone that everyone like really liked and wanted to stay in so much go out at the same time as someone everyone was like celebrating. We could have thrown a party back in the dorm when 390 went out. They went out together, so very mixed feelings. But in any case, Viper made a really ballsy decision, and that was pretty dang cool to throw to the guy who's got his back turned to you.
Oh, it was so bold. Viper just went for it. And I still think that is the correct pick for Viper there. However, 390 is just not prepared if you think about it. 390 is not even thinking, I need to catch this ball. You know what I mean? You already shut yourself down saying, I'm going to make sure I don't get the ball thrown to me. So then you're not prepared whatsoever to then actually have to catch the ball when your number's called.
In a way, yeah, maybe that went into it. You do get a good amount of time after someone picks you to like turn around, like he obviously did. You know, like good try, good try at 390, but we know you're going to try to catch it, and center yourself and get ready and all that. So I don't know if that played a huge role. It's seriously, it's like, how is this not scripted? You know, to make it a great story, he needs to miss, and he did. And same with Marks, and same with a lot of other players in that game. Great game. What a great game they invented for this show. Seriously, gotta give it up to them for that. It created so much great conflict and drama.
There was more drama in that game than they could have ever imagined. I do not believe they were anticipating for it to go the direction that it did with so many various contestants, but we got it. And then now we're down to 74 players after catch.
Yes, 74. It happened really fast, Lauren. It was like, oh my God, wow, we're really chugging along. We're getting through this game here. Okay, starting to pick up some momentum. Yeah, and that was the time that felt right to make a speech if we're ready for that part. It's also the time that we wake up to find a nesting doll in our dorms the next day.
Walk me through the nesting doll. I know we brought it up earlier in the podcast and you said, not going to go for it. But it did cross your mind for a slight moment, right?
No, I wish it did. I mean, I thought about it. I contemplated it, but my mindset was fully like twofold. One, I watched season 1. I'm still expecting like someone to just open a thing that says, oops, you're dead. And 2, I knew I was going way out on a limb with a fake birthday and a fake baby speech. And I didn't want even more attention after that. So I felt like I was like, okay, I'm doing enough. Here. I don't need a random advantage or disadvantage or death or coins or whatever. 10 coins would have been cool though. So I do feel a little bit of regret at that. I wish I just went like, you know what, all in. I think I went 99% in. I kind of wish I went all in and tried to snag those 10 coins.
Definitely. But, woulda, coulda, shoulda, for sure. Let's bang some of these out. Austin 153 is going to be receiving a disadvantage. Greg 417 then gets the nesting doll passed. Nothing is in it, which is almost best case scenario versus I'd rather have no disadvantage, nothing. You're hoping for something, but nothing is also a fantastic answer to get. Then we get Isaiah. Isaiah receives the cake and decides, let me share the cake with everybody. And this is where we are introduced to player 75, Natalie. And I will let you take it away.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's only so much you can show. There's so much that goes into it. So 75, Natalie, Isaiah, they were part of that group that had an alliance, the Avengers, that Melissa told me all about. And there was conflict related to Julia, who I apologize for blanking on your name earlier, who threw the ball to Mark. So the roots of this decision of Isaiah to give it to Nat, like are from like a series of them like just not getting on the same page. It was all related to, I believe, the X and O votes and like doing one thing, saying another. I honestly don't even remember all the details, but it had been brewing, and he kind of makes a bold decision, right? Because you could eliminate her, it could be bad, but you can also just give her exactly what he did give her, which is the keys to take a player out of the game. If Isaiah wasn't kind of insulated with a lot of people who would have been very upset, she could have easily taken him out.
It could not have been more perfect that she was the one to receive the coins, to have the power to eliminate. So you're sitting in the dorm, you know she's going over to the vending machine. Do you even feel any ounce of panic that it could be you?
No, I mean, there's always like the little bit of doubt that's like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know her very well. But I felt really good because Natalie and I had a great conversation the night before about how she has deaf parents and how she has managed that and done a lot of work in the field to like really, help people. And we got to know each other a lot better. I'm sure I told her about being an expecting dad. And so I was like, we have a personal relationship. We've gone kind of to talk beyond surface level. So I felt like there's no reason she would take me out. I had no idea who she would take out though. I was like, I was really more worried for my allies, honestly, who didn't know her at all.
Natalie, great character. They did so well with casting. Let's be so clear here because
Phenomenal.
wow. I enjoyed watching Natalie on my screen. I know some people weren't huge fans. Doesn't matter for me. You are giving it to us, and that's what we want. So Natalie then selects to eliminate.
Yeah, she's awesome. I don't know why she's getting so much hate. I guess I don't know. Everyone rubs people the wrong way differently, but to me, she was electric, and she was real and fiery and way more fun to watch than most other people I've seen.
Definitely. And Natalie chooses to eliminate player 80, which, correct me if I'm wrong, we didn't know too much about player 80, right?
No, we didn't. Ashley, she's just oops, up and gone. Yeah, that didn't end up factoring into the storyline. Fun. I actually liked Ashley a lot and really talked with her. She's a fan of the shows like Survivor and everything. I thought we had a great thing going. Turns out she really didn't like me and wanted me out. So great call, Natalie. Thank you for that. Appreciate you taking out Ashley.
That's a great call. You brought up hate, and I want to touch on something here. Have you gotten any hate for the lie?
I think that since the show came out, I've been actually shocked by how positive it's been. I mean, I'm also not looking through articles too much, but I feel like people have mostly been the fans or been neutral, or if they're not liking it, they're not telling me. It's been a surprise. I've really expected it to be a lot worse, and it might get worse, but so far it feels like I'm very happy and fortunate and lucky with like what they've shown. I think they captured like what I was hoping would come across, which is my fun spirit of it all. Maybe if I'm being greedy, like I don't think I like want anyone to get hurt ever in real life. I have empathy in real life. I was a teacher. I love kids. These are all true things. It's also true that I lied a hell of a lot in a game, but I hope I did so in a way that didn't cross any lines. I thought about it very hard, and I didn't want to lie about things that would like really hurt people. And this seemed like it wasn't over the line. Yeah, so far so good. I think the players are another story. Players, I think a lot are not very happy with me, and maybe it's gotten better with time. But I do know that a lot of people are not very thrilled to find out about that. And I mean, I understand. I don't blame them fully at all. Especially because like a lot of people aren't in this world of lying games like I am.
Now, did these people find out when you were done filming, or did some of them find out when the trailer came out?
When we're done filming, because I mean, we filmed in January, February, and there's no way I was gonna lie. I don't like lying in real life. Like that would have felt very gross for one thing. For another
Right.
thing, it's too much time. If I could have kept it a secret for like a month and then the show came out, maybe there was a consideration, but I never was planning on keeping that going. And I was like, I had to come clean after the game for sure.
Smart move on your end. Very smart move there, because I'll tell
The
you,
only move.
you wouldn't be surprised. Well, I could see somebody riding it out completely for that huge shock value, that's for sure. But I'm glad you decided to let other people know, hey, just the heads up, which was good on your end for sure.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I don't know how anyone could lie about that for that long. I mean, but yeah, no, it was never a decision.
So now we roll into the best doll that you can receive, which is player 303, Shelly, getting the immunity from not having to play in the next game.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
What an immunity to get, because as we see in the next game, and I can't wait to get there because we are almost there. We're almost to my favorite game of all time.
You and me both. Mingle.
So it's so good, but we have to briefly wrap up and touch on, we said it earlier, Matthew gets the final doll, decides to go up against one of the twin brothers, takes 4-3-1 out.
Can we go back to Shelly real quick? Because I mean, you probably already heard this, but for anyone listening who hasn't, Shelly got to give someone else immunity too. It wasn't just her.
Okay, no, touch on it.
Got stripped from the edits like so many other things when you have 456 people. But yeah, she gave immunity to a woman named Kate, who she was close with. And I really, it's surprising it wasn't in there, because what a better fit for the theme. There really no such thing as a free lunch in Squid Game, because what do you think happens when you get two people who are immune from Mingle? What do you think happens to them next, Lauren?
Oh, they're 100% paired up, which I think they should have put that in there, because I would have wanted to see that. Because as a viewer, when we're watching this, I was going to ask you this question when we got to it all, because y'all are still standing there saying there's 42 of us left. And I'm thinking, no, there's 43, because Shelly's still there. So how's that going to happen? She's not going to get the luck to be able to sit out of 2 games in a row. That's not going to happen.
Nope, not 2 games, just 1. And then you go play marbles with your best friend as a bonus gift. So yeah, it was the 2 of them were like sitting out. 42 of us played and survived Mingle. 44 total went into marbles together.
Now it all makes sense. And
yeah,
this is why we do the podcast. Exactly. Because we don't know. You can't get everything, because I mean, it's a show. There's only so much time.
Yeah.
However,
we know that. Yeah.
That one I feel as though you need, though. Unless
it is surprising. Yeah.
Unless they clip into the next one where they go, Shelly's in here and we see it, and they give maybe the soundbite behind it. So maybe that will be in the next episode. I don't know.
Maybe. Could be a flashback or something. It still feels, it doesn't, the only thing that's surprising, and like I know they have to condense this so much, 9 episodes is so short, but it feels like it wouldn't have taken that long to just have her say like, I picked this person because we've been really close, and like, yay, oh, thank you so much. That's it. And then move on, but I don't know. I'm far be it from me to criticize professional editors. Lord knows I'm not one of them.
No, not at all. It's so difficult to do. I can only imagine. But I want to bring up, before we get into it, the disadvantage that we indeed see occur. Handcuffs. I love it. Big time fan of it.
Sure.
So Austin decides to pick Jacob, player 432, the other twin brother, to go with him. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad pick. I'm not mad about the pick, simply because Austin knew what the game was going to be. So you're thinking this person's going to move quickly. We have to be able to move quickly. And Jacob's a smart pick there.
Yeah. And as much as we might not want to admit it, Mingle is a pretty physical game. So that's a factor for one thing. Someone who is going to be able to physically like keep up. And it's just an incremental advantage, even though alliances and deals played a huge role. Also, the idea of splitting up and like, okay, well, we're not allies, but guess what? Now we have two pools of people to work with instead of one. I think it makes sense in theory. I don't hate the decision one bit, even though it didn't exactly work out. I don't know if that was necessarily a fault of theirs that they got cut. So Austin makes a good strategic decision in my book. Maybe you want someone you can trust a little bit better, who is not your enemy, but also brings a different set of people to work with. I don't know.
I think it was worded, if I go, at least I'm taking him with me stance.
That was funny.
So it's completely fair. But Marcus is the one that actually gets the advantage and tells the alliance right away, has the group. We have the 6 ready to go into the game mingle. Huge advantage because you're not scrambling on the platform. You know what's going to be called out. But then the problem is, as soon as you figure out the disadvantage for Austin, you have to scoop up one more. Immediately you need that. And they pick up Greg. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I believe so. So, yeah, massive advantage. Pick the right freaking tin of porridge. Good for him. Would have been nice. I mean, we all guessed it would be mingle when we saw the handcuffs. So that wasn't a big surprise. Even though we were like, how the fuck are you doing mingle? Like that has to be like a legal liability through the wazoo. But going in knowing that it's 6 at first, very reassuring. Very nice to be able to pre-plan that. At the same time, I will say not like a massive game changer, just because the consensus strategy is to make a group of 12, because 12 is a number that's most easily divisible. You can divide that into 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. So you start with 12 and you go from there. So like for a lot of teams, it was actually not that hard the first round.
Right. But still, even going in, your nerves are less because at least, I'm confident that we're going to be able to go straight to the room. We don't even have to think about it, because even if you do have the 12, I know you have all the numbers crunched down, but still your mindset has to click. This number was just called. You know what I memean? So you have to think about it from that aspect. They don't have to think at all.
I mean, in a game where you can die any second or get eliminated, just the certainty of one round at least had to feel amazing. I'm sure, must have been nice.
Oh, so nice. So I want to know, what were the rules that they told you going into this game? Because I'm doing everything I can to survive. If someone's in my way, you got to go.
Yeah, so we could not do that. We could not, unfortunately, throw some bows. And I mean, fortunately, because it got physical enough as it was.
It did.
So we were instructed very strongly, no, you can't block someone. Like, you can't physically prevent them from going from point A to point B. You can't physically alter someone's path, block them. Obviously, you can't fight them or hit people or anything like that. But beyond that, you couldn't like physically overpower someone. They made that very, very clear. They threatened everyone with, like you could get eliminated if you do that. The reality is it's an insane game. Like as much as they stress that, okay, when we call a number, you have 90 seconds or whatever to formulate a plan on the table, on the spinning circle. So like, you don't have to run. It's you come up with a plan, get your group, and then go. It's like, well, that's not how reality works. The way reality works is it's a complete shit show. And then people are going to run because you're safer if you run and get there faster than if you walk and you're the last one to the door. Like it's you can be part of the plan, but like if someone else sneaks in ahead of you because they got there faster, your allies might not risk it. They might not leave rooms to save you, right? Which they'd have to do. So it got physical very fast. Long story short.
Biggest shit show I've ever seen, and I was living for it as a viewer, because let's talk about this. You see the very first round, the music starts playing. Everyone, for the most part, there's some people that have their game face on and are just standing there. People are dancing. People are happy. They're enjoying it. And then we get to the very end of the game, and we'll talk about the in-between. Not like that whatsoever. We start with this gleeful, happy family all playing around and dancing to the music, to pure stop the game.
Yeah.
So let's fill in the blanks.
Sure. So we'll circle back to that. You're saying the rebellion, which I'm just going to say, not at all scripted. I've seen a lot of theories about that. I know it looked really weird, but that was 100% not scripted. Just a lot of missing context. But yeah, it looks so much faker than it was, which is crazy. Mingle was insane. It was like a deeply traumatic, emotional game for many, many people. Like I was impacted. I was affected. It was insanely tense, and I'm a very unemotional player. You know, I didn't have heartbreak in the game. I didn't lose anyone that I was super, super close to at all. So imagine doing that over and over again for a lot of people. Yeah, we'll get to that later. But it was very real, very, 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 very painful, very emotionally painful for some, and also escalating physicality made people very nervous and made people start to get actually very upset. Where should we begin though? You know, like I feel like watching it, it's like I'm curious what your take was. Like, what did it look like? Because you don't have any of the context of like why groups are forming, who cares about who, but what was it like watching round after round of Mingle?
Absolute chaos, because when a number is called and you know that you have the 90 seconds on the ticker, that 90 seconds goes snap of a finger. You are so focused on who's in my group, where am I going? And then the chaos sets in, especially when you're in a room. We need one more. We need one more. Who can we go grab? Who can run and get it? And we see that with number 17, I want to say, almost gets eliminated.
Yeah.
And has to jump from their entire group because one room is yelling, we need one more, we need one more. And the sprint begins. You see everyone trying to get to that door, and she happens to get in. So all the people that she was just working with, gone. And she got in by the skin of her teeth.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You got to feel like you're like living on borrowed time after that. If you weren't already. Talk about surviving by the grace of God. And kudos to Vanessa, BB
yeah.
Canada alum on the truncated season. She saw the opportunity and got there the fastest. So like survival of the fittest right there. That's pretty much what it was. It was chaos, but it was also a ton of planning too. And that, I don't know if that got clearly shown. I mean, we all kind of went in with alliances, groups. Melissa had all of her friends. In my case, I can only speak really directly for that, but I jumped in with them, with Claire 409, with Alex 408, Steven, one of the band members, jumped in, and we didn't even know each other super well before that, but he became my one of my new best friends very quickly when we're surviving in rooms together. And what the environment was like was our individual groups coming up with plans for numbers. So like first round, we got 12, and we were like, great, we're covered on these numbers. And then you need to cover the other numbers too. You don't want to wing it when they call out a number. So some of us are going around making deals left and right and trying to cover all the numbers and get the people in our alliance covered too, if you can help it. And some of us did not really understand how Mingle was about to work, and we're like kind of sheep, just ready to be slaughtered or put on people's backs and carried through the game who did understand what Mingle was like, which is Survivor on steroids.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be spot on with what you're doing, especially with that. But I want to talk about August. I know you have thoughts. I'll let you go
August.
first. Yes.
No, I want to hear your thought. I want to hear your thought. I've been talking too much, if anything. So tell me, how did August's how do you say that, August's story resonate with you?
It was good. I really was pulling for August there. And it's tough because we've talked about this with a couple people's storylines. The ending was, I got left. You know what I mean? It happened. That's where you just see the defeat. And as a viewer, it's just tough to watch that because you're rooting for so many of these people to succeed and do well. And August seemed like a great person to have in your group, but then it just didn't pan out of the way it was supposed to, as it doesn't with a lot of these folks. Just the chaos, the way the game is designed, the way it works, it just crumbles right in front of you. And then you just see the pure devastation. Just my family's going to be so disappointed. I can guarantee that wasn't the case, because August was fantastic and was playing a great game, but this game is just forever changing, and it's so difficult to be able to adapt to every single scenario, because if one little thing is off, that's what happens. That wasn't the game plan going in. You were not supposed to be X'd from that room. It just happened.
Yeah, because one too many people snuck in, and then all of a sudden, August. I mean, I believe he kind of sacrificed himself. It was maybe a little bit of both, but he just jumped out, and maybe he thought there was a hope of some other plan. But in any case, they took a massive risk and put the team on his back in that instance. And you're making split-second decisions. August is like a fascinating person. I think he's a very authentic human being who says exactly what's on his mind, and he's unabashedly himself. And we had some very moving conversations in the dorm. Like, what I wish could have got shown is how in pentathlon he came into that race apologizing for how he was about to make us all lose, because he just didn't believe in himself, and he thought he was like, I'm not good at anything. And I think he meant it. And then it turns out he's really, really good at House of Cards and saved the day that way. So he's also a huge reality TV show fan, and he thinks very deeply about strategy, and he's crunching numbers left and right with everyone. So it's interesting to get such a strategist who's also a very emotional player too, wrapped into one. You don't see that too often, I don't think. And in this case, the strategy and the emotional side battled, and the emotions won. And that was all it took in a second and for August's game to end. So really, really cool run for him. I mean, he should be super proud of himself. Like, such a good storyteller too, and compelling as a human being and story. It's crazy. I could go on, but I'll stop there.
Very, very rootable person. That is for sure.
That's a good way to put it.
That's how you put the stamp on it with that. And honestly, as we said, it's just tough game to get through. This is the most chaotic game that you can put people in, because people are running in and out of rooms. People are shuffling, finding their groups. It's a very difficult one to get through. And at the end of the day, this was August's time to go, and viewers were rooting for you. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think he does too. So great job, August. Great run.
Let's go to the betrayal.
Yes.
So the Kareem of it all, the Natalie betrayal. I get it in the sense of thinking it's more difficult to stay with somebody that is cuffed together, because the game was not stopping. The rounds were going and going and going. And I was even saying, when is this game going to be over? With the numbers y'all had going into it, I thought they're going to only do 3 to 4 rounds because they don't have that many people left.
Yeah, no, but the thing is with Mingle, like, depending on the number that gets called, not a lot of people get eliminated, actually, if you make sure that everyone like has enough time to get to rooms. Like if it's the number called is 7, for instance, like probably getting like 3 or 4 people eliminated each round. So you actually kind of do have to churn through a lot of rounds, and that's probably why they called out such large numbers a lot of the time, like 12 and 13, and 10 was another one at some point, so on. With Karim and Peter, I found that to be a very interesting decision. I get it on the surface, not wanting the pair that's tied together. At the same time, I wonder if that's like kind of a good thing. I feel like I might have wanted that on my team, because they can't like make it a rash, reckless decision or an emotional decision on their own. They are literally tied together. So that actually seems like a pretty good, solid, baked in 2 people to count on. If it were me, I would have been happy to keep going with them, honestly. Peter and Karim, I guess, didn't see it that way, and they jumped ship and went with people they didn't know as well. I don't know. What do you think? What do you make of that decision?
If they're holding you back, yes, but I didn't believe they were holding them back at all. And that's what I was talking about, where Austin makes the good pick in picking Jacob, because Jacob's going to be able to keep up. So I didn't see a reason for them having to go. But again, everyone has their own mindset with how they want to play the game. If you have one thought in your mind, it's going to be different for somebody completely else. So you could be thinking one way, and that person's going to say, no, I look at it from this perspective. And they just happen to look at it in the angle of they have to go because we just don't want to be tied down to them because something could occur later on that gets us eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, and you have I think a good approach to it as a fan of these shows, as someone who's going to play with strategy, right? And I'm really curious to see what other fans think. I couldn't think of a better way to play the game than pretty much what you described, and have that core group, build off that, and have relationships where you can make deals and people are going to trust you. Get as many numbers covered each round as you can, and that's really all you can control in a super fast game. So I'm with you. They might have a lot more details to add though. But Natalie 75, that was another situation altogether. What did that come off to you? Because you asked about her.
So Natalie's just playing the game. Everyone there's playing the game. Everyone has their own different approach. It's intensity. That's really what it comes down to. And I know people were mad that Natalie left, but Natalie also, I don't think, felt fully in the group to begin with. You get what I'm saying here? I don't think Natalie feels I was the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 draft pick. I'm just kind of the extra. And no one wants to be the extra. So I see the mentality. Yeah. I get it. Screw y'all. You don't see a value in me. However, I do get the other perspective of the other people. You're relying on this person. They did make a commitment to you. So you're thinking, they're going to hold true to that commitment. And I would be frustrated too if I was on the other side saying, oh my goodness, we're relying on you. What the heck are you doing? But this is a game where you're looking out for you. Number 1, you have to think about you at the end of the day. And that's what Natalie even said when, I forget which room Natalie was in at that point, but was talking to someone saying, I have to think about me here, because that person, they're thinking about themselves by saying, you're with us. That's them thinking about them, saying, I need you. But they don't care if you end up getting eliminated. You saw it. People are looking out going, oh, Natalie's gone. That's what Natalie gets for turning on us. No, Natalie was just gone because it didn't work out in Natalie's favor that round.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I think, I mean, again, I mentioned it earlier, but hard to keep track. Natalie was one of these Avengers, right? This big group of people who started the game together. And there's a conflict, and people trusted her less and less. And you saw that with Isaiah's decision with the nesting doll. So I think what happened, and I might be getting some things a little hazy now. To the best of my knowledge, Natalie was playing Mingle mostly with other people. You described what happened perfectly. Then that's when she came to us, and it was very transparent. No one lied. We were like, "Natalie, you're our last person in." What's the accounting term? LIFO, last in, first out. That was Natalie's role, and she knew it. So, not to get too into the weeds, but there was a round actually they got recalled for a rules issue that was a little convoluted, and Natalie, it was 10, and Natalie was our 10th, and we were all in it together. We would have been fine. That gets recalled. They call 7, and now Natalie knows she needs to find a new home, and you saw how that worked out. She was just scrambling, and she knew she didn't have a clear plan at that point. And when you don't have a clear plan, that's when you go home and mingle.
Right. And everyone's cutting deals left and right. It's not just her. Other people, I mean, we saw it with Cream and Peter. They did the same thing. They went off and did what they wanted to do. I'm not saying the alliance that the group had that was frustrated was wrong. I don't think they're necessarily wrong either. I think both parties have a reason for doing what they did and feeling that the way they did. And that is why you get shows such as this, because you have the conflict. Conflict is always going to exist when you throw people into a game where ultimately at the end of the day, there's just one winner. If it's a team mentality win, then I understand you started with us. Why are you leaving a good thing that we have going?
Yeah, exactly. That's all rational, Lauren. That makes sense to me. And sometimes in Mingle, things don't work out in a way that makes sense. That's all I could say. And there's like a million people running around, scrambling, worried for their life. It is truly like, it's almost inhumane. It's like the Stanford prison experiment or something like it. It's in the sense that these are not conditions that are healthy to go through. Especially when we're running on fumes, getting 3 hours or 4 hours of sleep a night, getting filmed from 10 billion angles. It's really no wonder people kind of cracked big time in Mingle, which again is what kills me, because the ending, everyone's saying it looked fake and scripted. It's like, it's not, but I get why you think that fully. It's just that they, for whatever reason, were not able to show the deep emotional element of this game. Plus the recalled round really sent people over the edge. And It's like the game itself is so great. The game is so fun and so compelling and looked incredible. But a few issues stopped it, I think, from being, not to mention the marbles thing, the marbles twist that got me like a dumbass. And it's all there. It's just it didn't necessarily like get executed with 10 out of 10 marks. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just how I felt.
No, definitely. So, how many hours was Mingle about?
Oh my god! You know what? Anytime anyone asks me a question about hours, I really don't know, because like we have no way of knowing, and I feel like I could be so wrong. But it went on for a long time. There was a dinner break at some point. We had like a snack break, a bathroom break, or whatever, like throughout. So hours and hours. I don't 6 to 8 hours, maybe. I don't know. I truly, it could be like 3, and I could be an idiot, but it felt like 6 hours, let's say. So it's a lot of time to go through all that over and over and over again.
I think that's what people fail to see. They're thinking, I'm watching a television show saying it ends quickly. This is how quickly the game goes. No. None whatsoever. And so you're having to stay locked in for that duration of time, which is really difficult to do. Your mind can't go elsewhere. And I know it does try to do so, but if you have a lapse at all, that's where you can find yourself eliminated too. It's very hard to stay in the moment, stay in the game, and stay focused.
Yeah, exactly. And I would just like to make a case too to anyone who's a doubter. Apply Occam's razor. I think it should be more plausible that these are just real people who, yes, want to be on TV, but who are real people, and there are game rules where they have to design the game fairly. We're not like led to do a fake rebellion script. We're just going through the reality version of D-Day and are like stressed to our breaking points in the game. And that is, to me, simpler to believe than there's this whole manufactured fake thing that all of us are going to lie about till the end of time and cover like some grand conspiracy. But that's just me. A lot of conspiracy theories out there in the world these days, Lauren. I know it's tough. A lot tough to know what to believe, but I just wish that it showed the emotions, like how it felt, especially realizing that it was marbles and that we all got duped. And that even though like literally going in, Melissa and I said to each other, like, we're not going to pick each other if it's two, we still did it anyway because we're dumb and because we were at like our weakest moment in our lives, really. So yeah, it sucks that it didn't come off as strongly as it felt in the moment. Because
they got all of you. They literally got all of you. But you're still focused on the game. You're not thinking about what could come next. I mean, even when the front man is walking towards you with the box, what do you think is in the box, first of all?
Oh, marbles. I mean, with the way it worked out was there was a lot of tension. We had the actual like attempt at a rebellion, and not everyone was doing it. You might notice that not everyone was holding hands. I certainly was not. But after that, they assured everyone that we wouldn't have to fight, that we wouldn't have to scramble for rooms, we wouldn't actually run to a room, right? And then they're like, but the game's going, deal with it, suck it up or go home. And so everyone sucked it up. And then they called out two, and that we all just kind of instinctively grabbed our person. And then the horn that they used to indicate that we could now run never came. Instead of a sound, instead of anything, they said, okay, now make it like clear, like hold hands with whoever you're picking to go into the room. And that was when most of us knew that it was marbles. We were like, oh, fuck, all of our planning, we blew it in this moment. Really thought I would be able to see marbles coming. And I did not. And Kurt and Zoe did not. And Perla and Jeffrey did not, and all the other people who were close. As far as I know, no one like knew that this was happening in the moment. That's how it went down.
No, not at all, especially because too many of y'all were still linked up with each other. But that's where the production design comes in and why this season has been so good, because the utilization of the twists, all the various elements that they have put into this game, it's been brilliant. And I can't wait to continue watching. And now going into the next episode, we know the drama's there. The emotion's going to be there. Everything is going to unfold in that next episode.
Yeah, you're going to see some stories come to a head, and you're going to see people who are very close in the game go up against each other. I don't know how many pairs, like, we as viewers know are close, but in the game, like, these are all best friends who have been bonding for 7 days, I guess, at that point. And for me personally, I mean, I'm going up against my ride or die who I've known for 2 years and who I've been plotting and scheming this whole game with. And now one of us is going to have to kill each other. So the stakes felt very, very real, and it felt very, very compelling for sure, living it out. And I'm excited to see how that particular round plays out.
I can't wait. As a viewer, I'm locked into this season, and it's just been so fantastic talking to you. This is so well thought out, well done. We bopped around every single episode. If we missed items, we are so sorry.
Much.
There's just so much content here to talk about. If we didn't mention your name, again, I apologize. If I got your number wrong, apologies on my end, but I believe I actually hit every number correctly that we talked about in this round.
I'm more worried about me, big time. Quick side note, I worked really, really hard to learn people's names in there, and I have a shit memory. So as a consequence, I don't know anyone's player number at all. I never, my brain could not handle that. So I, to this day, don't know almost anyone's player number. So I'm sorry to everyone who I forgot about that. So you're going to have to help me out. You're going to be my cheat sheet like they have in the MIVs in the interview room. That's you. That's your job whenever we talk.
It's always good to have a cheat sheet, and we're still learning all the names, and there's going to be more characters, I'm sure, that are going to pop up that we haven't seen. We're going to see the development stories. Yeah, exactly. There's
Buckle
more
up.
Oh yeah.
The last half of the game, there's so many huge personalities that we just haven't had the time to see who are going to emerge. I think it's going to get crazy. So I hope everyone is ready for a fast and wild back half of these episodes.
Eric, is there anything you want to plug before we put a bow on episodes 1 through 4?
I don't really have anything going on. I am working on getting my thesis into conferences, talk about reality TV game design. So if anyone's interested in that and feels passionately about the blossoming subject, let me know. I've started a Cameo. I just want to give one. That's my goal, to give one Cameo. And you can find me on social media, but I don't even understand how TikTok works. So at ERICELDR on Instagram, TikTok, I guess, even though I don't know if I'll ever post anything. If you care, you can find me there, but otherwise I have nothing going on, Lauren.
Hey, a plug is a plug. You still have something going on. You should have hit it with, check out the next round of episodes. You know what I mean?
I thought I did that already. Okay. See, you need to teach me these things, Lauren. I'm not good at this part. I'm good at creating lives and entertaining myself on reality TV shows, and that's it. So I got to learn all these other things.
Well, you're in the right spot. And everyone else, Dan, player 204 from season 1, normally would be here, but my man is in Vegas right now, and it was tough to get him today to be able to come onto this podcast. But don't you worry, we will get his opinions, and Dan always has his thoughts and opinions. That's why I love having him come on the podcast. So he will be back, hopefully with us for the
Lauren,
next run.
Sorry to interrupt. You know what happened? Dan said Eric's going to be on the podcast. That guy, that asshole, he voted me out of the same survival challenge, fake survivor game that him and Melissa played 2 years ago. There's no way I'm doing a podcast with that guy. I'm a conspiracy theorist now. But I wanted to share that fun fact. Dan 204, Melissa and I, we all were in the same silly little backyard survivor game 2 years ago. Small world.
Very small world. And maybe we'll get the entire gang together. That could be a focus for us. We might be able to have the whole squad come on and all of us talk about it.
That's right. I mean, yeah, you've also, you're not a stranger to survival challenge, I know. So I'm just spread the word. These games exist. So maybe more people find out about them. Really good preparation for Bingle. If you want to go on Squid Game 3, I would advise you to get in the nearest survivor game you can. And you'll pick up a few tricks, I bet.
There's so many live reality games out there. So if you're interested in those, hit Eric up. Eric can send you in the right direction. Hit me up. I can send you in the right direction as well. But once again, Eric, such a pleasure to have you come on this podcast, and
Likewise.
I can't wait to continue. Yes.
Thanks for having me. So fun to talk to you, Lauren.
Absolutely. Everyone else, be sure to check out everything we have going on the Reality After Show. We have Survivor going. I know Bobby Goodsby is talking to Rachel Riley from Big Brother. We have football podcast. I'm covering 99 to beat, and oh boy, it is getting good, and they're getting down to the nitty gritty here. What else am I missing? Oh yes, be sure to check us out again for Squid. We will be back next week, and be sure to check out behind the scenes interviews that I will be doing as well with other players on this cast. We have a ton lined up. So with that, everyone, take care.
Don't miss it.